today you are going to get the magical powers from Python because we are going to learn the conditional statements and loops. Okay, so these are very important topics or very important points from the Python, because in any language, actually not in Python, wherever you go, if you have a good command over loops and conditional statements, that is if else and nested if else, you will be able to do wonders. Okay, so with this, let's start our day, and today we are going to cover these topics. We are going to work with operators, how many operators there, how to use them. We are going to learn conditional statements, if else and nested if else. Then we are going to go for loop, for loop, while loop, and then we'll have our most favorite quiz, and then we are going to end this thing. Okay, now let's go and check how many operators are there. So how many of you have learned operators in any of the language? Okay, so it's not about Python. If you are familiar with any other language, so are you aware about the operators, how to use the operators and all? Yeah, so you must be, right? So we have a couple of operators over here in Python as well, and those operators, yeah, I'm just trying to remove the credit. Yeah, you can't rename yourself, chat. Yeah, you can share screen. Can't share screen as well. Perfect. Okay, fine. Now, so these are a couple of, these are some operators available in Python. So we are going to use them. I'm not going to give each and everything by demonstration because it is really very easy. Okay. So arithmetic operators, all of you know. We have comparison operators. We have assignment operators. We have logical operators as well. Okay. So here we go. Let's check. So it's just a name, right? So there must be some operators which will help us to do some operations. So operators are just to help us to do operations. Okay. So what type of operation? In arithmetic operators, arithmetic operations will be done using arithmetic operators. Okay. So arithmetic operations such as addition. Okay. So a plus b, c, right? So this is type of addition operation will be done with this plus sign. This is arithmetic. This is subtraction operator. We have multiplication operator. We have division operator. Okay. We have modulus and we have flow division. Okay, so this is very important point which I wanted to showcase, and then we have last exponent. Okay, so yes, so yeah, we have 31. Hi, good evening, good evening. So keep Shreyandi, I would like to join. I would like you to see earlier. Okay, so don't join late. Fine. So we are coming to arithmetic operators and addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. I'm not going to show. I'm going to show you something which is new to you. Okay. So you must be knowing multiplication, 5 into 2, 10, or 10 divided by 2, 5. Okay, so that's all you know. Division operator, addition, subtraction, you must be knowing, right? But here is something that which I'm going to show you, operators.py. Here I'm going to show you how modulus operator works and how flow division works. Okay, so modulus, again, most of you might know, modulus operator will give you the remainder. Okay, what do I mean by this? Let me just show you. Okay, suppose a, my favorite variable, is having the value of 10, and suppose b is another variable which is having value as 3. Okay, so if I use the modulus operator, like I'm just directly printing, I'm not storing anywhere, a modulus operator b, what it is doing is 10. So I'm just using the division terminology over here, but it is modulus. Okay, it is not division. So 10 is divided by 3, so there will not be full division. Okay, the remainder will be there, and that remainder is 3. 3 is a 9, and 1 will remain, and this modulus operator will print that 1, right? So I'm just running the code, run operator. Yeah, so I'm getting that modulus, the remainder. Okay, so I'm just trying to change the value. Let me make it 17. Okay, so if I divide 17 with 3, okay, 3 5s are 15, and the 2 15, 16, 17. Okay, 2 will be extra, 2 will be in the remainder. Okay, so that 2 will help you, that 2 will get printed with this modulus operator. Yes, so that is the use of modulus operator. Clear? Those who are really new to this particular thing, modulus operator? Yes, I hope so, right? Just give me yes if you're clear with this modulus operator. Yeah, so were you able to see my PyCharm? Actually, I didn't ask you. Yeah, perfect. Now this is very interesting, flow division. Everybody listen to me. Okay, this is going to be very important point. I know the flow division, most of you might not know, because this is really new and which is not there in other programming languages mostly, or you might not have came across this thing. Okay, so that might be the case. Okay, so what flow division will do? So we know division. Okay, so let me just show you. If I divide this 17 with 3, let me just change this with division. Okay, if I do like this, so I'll get 3 5s are 15, right? And 2 will be remainder. We are not going to worry about remainder, but the 5 will 5.66. It is going to print exactly exact division, right? Exact thing, exact value. But if I use floor division, okay, so see the magic of 1 slash, okay. So this division operator is different, and floor division is having 2 slash, okay. So that's why I'm showing you the comparison. So if I do like this, so it will not show me the value in decimal. Okay, it will give me the number which is 5. Okay, so it will give me the whole number that is 5. Okay, so that is the use of this flow division. Okay, so have you got the difference between three of them? So all the people who are listening to me, I will give the question for the operator. It will give the question for the operator, yes. But question, but if you use division, normal division, it will give us the value in the decimal. But flow division will not give you any decimal value. It will just give you the question and remainder. Yeah, question in the integer form. Only one digit slash line. Not it is not for only one digit actually. So it can print you, give you two digit as well if you type like this. Okay, so if I do something like this, it will give me in three digit. Okay, so it's not one digit. Okay, so it's whole number. Try to understand the point, Himanshu. The whole number. Okay, so it will not give you in a decimal number. That's the significance. Only give significant values before decimal. Yeah, absolutely right, Ruchi, absolutely right. Okay, so is it clear? Now the last operator in arithmetic series is exponent. So what this exponent does is, exponent is the power of something. Okay, so let me just take this 3b. Okay, and this is b, and this double asterisk. Okay, double asterisk will tell whenever I'm going to use another variable over here, like suppose I'm using 2 right now. So what it will do is it will multiply, or it will make an exponent. 2 2s are 2's, sorry, b is power 2, right? So there is no such a operation like this actually. In mathematics we do something like this, right? So something like this. So this will not work over here. It is some other significance of this operator. So we'll be using this double, sorry, not double, yeah, exponent for double, and it will give us the exponent. Okay, so if I run this, what is b? B is 3. 3's power 2 is equal to 9. Okay, so if I change it like this, b and b is power 3, so 3's cube is, so it is giving us a cube. Okay, so 3's cube is 27. So like that, this double asterisk, okay, so it will give us an exponent, that is power of any variable. Okay, clear? How to print decimal up to 2 digit? Give the ending value actually to um, we'll come to this thing later on. So decimal up to 2 digit, you are very specific. So you need to yeah, round off function will help you, and there is floor function as well. But floor will take you to this seal and floor. These are two functions we need to initialize a and b value. Why we need to initialize a and b value? Why? So you don't need to actually, if you want to do like this, like 5's cube. Okay, 5's cube, it will work like this as well. Okay, so I'm just helping you. Yeah, 5's cube is 125. So I'm just helping you with the programming perspective. Like in programming, you will not directly give values. Okay, you are not directly going to give values to this. It will in program we are going to get values from user, and we are going to store it in variable, and then we are going to use in the further operation. That's why I was using the variables. Okay, so this is about arithmetic operators. Okay, so we saw these very important operators. So then next we have comparison operators. Actually comparison operators are just to compare two variables basically. So you can compare that variable with another number, another string, or another data type, or one variable with another variable. Okay, so if a is equals to if the value of a is 3 and b is 3, it will give us a true. Okay, so comparison operators will return true or false. Floor function, yeah, functions we'll cover in the functions part, not right now, because okay, so just try to understand compare operators right now. Okay, so this is floor operator which we saw. It is not a floor function actually. So it is a floor division operator. Okay, it's not floor function. Okay, function will cover in the functions when we are going to cover functions. Okay, so I'll make a note of that floor functions. Okay, Yeah, you can use string format and include 2.f. Yes, Anurag. Yeah. So if you have any doubts, keep it, put it in our WhatsApp group. So I'll help you over there. Okay. So don't disturb the flow, because there are so many people who are really new to this programming language and they need to know how to get started with these things. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So so we have equals to operator. We have not equals to. So which will check if a is not equals to, means so it will give you when this condition will satisfy, it will return as a true. Okay, then we have greater than operator and less than operator, less than equals to, and sorry, greater than equals to, less than equals to. So when we need these operators, when we are going to use the loops. Okay, so in loop we are going to check, or in if and else condition as well, we need to check if the age, like let me give a normal example. Okay, let me just with operators, let me just give you a normal example. Like if are you eligible to vote? Okay, suppose age of the person is 18, okay, or 18 plus, right? Age of person is 18, right? I'm considering. If okay, I want to show you if and else actually, so that time I'll show you comparison operators with example. Okay, so just take a note of this thing. These are operators available in comparison. Okay, so then we have assignment operators. Okay, so assignment operators will directly assign. Okay, so here I wanted to show you the second one, add and assign. Okay, so it is a short form. Okay, so assignment operator is like this: a is equal to 18. So this is assignment operator. The value of 18 is assigned to this particular variable. Okay, so I'm quickly removing this thing. Okay, value of 18, this is assignment operator. But now next year, suppose I wanted to increase the age of this person, what I'll do age is equal to age plus 1, right? So the next age का spelling wrong हुआ. Yeah, so I'll do age, and here we go. So this is our age. So if I do like this, so this is what I wanted, but using this operator add and assign. Okay, so add and assign, this is shorthand for this particular operation. Instead of writing this variable one more time, what you can do is you can just put plus over here, and it will work like whatever value of age, take that and add this one, and then reassign the new value to this particular variable. Okay, so this will do the same thing, 19. Okay, so this is the shorthand for doing that. In a similar way, we have subtract and assignment, subtract minus 1 and then assign that value to this. Then we have multiply with the number and then assign it to the next number. And then we have divide and assign. Okay, so these are some of the shorthands that most of the people use to reduce the or to write some heavy code. Okay, so that new people who are very new to code, they will not be able to understand. See, so a lot of people might have seen this thing for the very first time. Do you have anybody over here who has seen this thing for the very first time? Yes. So the shorthand for A plus O. Okay, fine. Abhinav. Oh, Abhinav knows this. So those who are from programming background, actually, then they must be knowing it. Okay. So this is not something new, but still I wanted to cover the operators because for others' sake. So that's why I'm doing it. Okay. So then we have logical operators. Okay. So logical operators is like it will check true or false. Okay. So if A is true, B is true, the logical and or and not will make the logical difference, or will check the logical significance of that thing. Okay, so for this I'm just going to take so logical operator expects only true and false, only boolean types of variable. Okay, so it will not work with your 10 and 10. Okay, a 10 and 10, there will be nothing like that. Okay, so 10 will be considered as number, so it will be considered true, and other string or something, so it will be considered as again true. So it will not work like that. So basically and or operators are used only for only with boolean types of data type. Okay, so let me just take a value as result. Okay, so result is equal to true. Okay, and then so this is one variable. Then if I wanted to check um, if I want to check this true is actually this true is true, like that. Okay, so I can do like this. So yeah, let me just take one more variable over here. Okay, Ritik, keep the discussion after the session because other people are reading your comments, so they might get diverted from things which I'm teaching over here. So it's a kind request. So next time I don't want to see this message. Okay, fine. Same thing to Anurag as well. Anurag, do suggest the things in our WhatsApp group. We have WhatsApp group, right? So you can put your doubts, you can put your questions. We have a couple of people who are really experienced into this thing, Python and all. So Anurag is one of them. So he's really good. I have seen his profile, and he's really good. So you can connect with him on a group, and he will help you out with it. Okay, so I'll take one more variable called as status. Okay, so if status is equal to false, okay, spelling is wrong. Yeah, so if I do like this, if result and status, yeah, so if result, so it will be double AND actually, so that this is not here. Yeah, so this is logical AND. Okay, so it is normal single AND. So it is a logical AND, which what it will do is, no, sorry. So this is bitwise actually. This is bitwise AND. Yeah. So the AND which I was talking about, logical AND, is having the small. See, this is case sensitive. Python programming language is case sensitive. If you do like this, and it will not work. Okay. So just since it is came into the point, so just take a note of it. Python is case sensitive. Okay, so if I do like this, result which is value is true and status whose value is false. Okay, so if I do logical AND between them, so false and sorry, true and false will give you the false value. Okay, so this is how to check the condition or check the current boolean type or the value of that particular scenario. Like if you want to check username and password, like username is Akshay and password is Tech Amplifiers, then allow user to log in. Okay, so in such scenarios, in such cases, we'll be using this and or the bitwise operators. Okay, fine. So give me yes if you are able to understand. So I'm not getting, if nobody is speaking over there, so it will, yeah, so it will feel like I'm not with you or you are not with me, like that. Okay, okay, perfect. So there, because I asked you the reason, because you will be awake right now, because I wanted to tell you the very important thing, which is membership operators. Okay, so this is very important thing. Now, so membership operators, what it will do is, so in and not in, I'll tell you how to use it. Okay, so membership operators. So again, for this, I'm going to take the example of, I'm just going to remove this because we are done with this. I'm just going to take the, now we are not going to work with integer and string. Let's move towards, since we learned list yesterday, right? So I'm going to take a list, okay? 10.20.25, comma, dot 30, okay? So this is the list I have, which is having numbers, so I can put string as well if I want, because it is, you can store anything, whatever you want over here, okay? So this is the list. Now, if I wanted to check, okay, suppose you got a list from somebody or to this code or from user, you want to check if, okay, so I haven't taught you if, just try to understand this, okay, or let me try directly print, okay, so I want to teach you if, then that time I'll use it, okay. So if you want to check whether the number 20 is present in my list, okay, is present in my list, so I want either true or false. My question is whether 20 number is present in my list, the question, right? So the answer of this question will be true or not, false, okay, either it is present, but if it is not present, it should return me false. So that's what my that's what my expected output is. So for achieving this, what I'll do, sorry, not 20 in A. So this is how this membership operator is used, means 20 number is present in this particular A, which is the list of which is the list actually. So if I do like this, so it will check if 20 is member of A. If it is, it will return me true. If it is not, then it will return me false. Okay, so let me just show you. Yeah, so here we go, 20 is there, since that's what it's showing. So if I change it and do like 21, and if I run this code, so it will give me false, because 21 is not present in my list. Clear? Yeah, clear? Perfect. Okay, so now in a similar way, we have not in. Okay, so you might have understood with the name itself. So not in is just a negation of this in. Okay, so if you want to check, the negation actually, if you know that the number will not be there, or if you want to check any negative situation, in that case you can check you can use this not in operator, which is again the membership operator, which will check if 21 is not present in this particular list. Okay, so that is again will do the same thing. It will return true, by the way, because it's negation, it is not there. If you are going to use any number which is already present, so this not in operator will return you false. Okay, so because it's the negation. Clear? So this is about logical operators. Then we have operator precedence. Okay, so now, so you need to take this point into the in your mind, that we have seen a couple of operators over here, and if I give you some example like this, if I ask you to do some calculation, or if I gave you some expression where a into b minus c, or then we'll be using multiplication, or we'll be using n, or not in actually over here, if we use some other operators like over here. So you need to check which operator will use first. Okay, so if I use floor division, and if I use not over here, or if I use is not. Okay, so these all, if I gave you such expression over like this, not in not in D. Yeah, so in such a case, you need to know which thing, or you must have learned the BODMAS rule. So that applies only to arithmetic operators. Okay, so how many of you know the BODMAS rule? Yeah, so so I'm not going to go detail into that. So it will be applied only to arithmetic operators. But what about other operators? Because we may get some situation where we need to use every operator in one expression. Okay, so in that case, you need to know which is the first operator which you are going to execute. Okay, so in exams, or whenever you're going to give aptitude test, technical aptitude, so in that case, they will give you some expression, and they will expect from you what is the output of this program. Okay, in such cases, you need to know the sequence, you need to know the precedence of the operator. Okay, so just I'm going fast, take a screenshot and focus on later on. So very first operator which will execute is exponential operator. Then we'll have unary plus and unary minus. Okay, so unary plus is like it will increment it by 1. Okay, so unary plus, and then we have multiplication, we have division, then we have floor, and then we have modulus. Okay, so see the sequence of this thing. The floor comes before modulus. So you may make mistake over here. Okay, so since this is modulus is really sorry, floor is really new to you, but it is not having, so it comes first than modulus. Okay, so then we have plus, minus, so addition, subtractor. Then we have left shift and right shift operator. Then we have bitwise bitwise and or and XOR and NOR. Okay, see this sequence applies for Boolean as well. So sorry, Boolean is having different sequence than this. So bitwise and is having the first preference. Then we have XOR. Then we have OR. Then we have comparison and identity operator. So comparison, like I told you, right? Equals to, not equals to, less than equal to, greater than equal to, and is not is again for the identity. A is 10. Okay, so I haven't told you this thing. A is and is not. Okay, I'm quickly going to show you. Okay, here itself. Okay, so if I'm having a variable A and it is 10, so if I want to check identity, so what I'll do is A is 10. Okay, so the previous one was 10 in A. If 10 value of 10 is present in my list, so is identity, right? So it's is and is not. Is and is not is the identity operator actually. So it will check if the identity is or it is equals to. Okay, is identity. So A is 10. If you want to check the value of A, whether it is 10, so in that case you can use this identity operator. So I'm just running the code. It will return us true. So the syntax warning, A is with literal. Okay, so it is only for strings actually. So sorry, what happened? Syntax warning is a littler. Did you mean equals to? Yeah, so you can't use it with directly print statement actually. So there is some other way to use this type of operators. Okay, can't see your screen. Sorry. Are you able to see my screen? So I'm right now on the operator. Yes, Pile is saying yes, Prajwal is saying yes. Vaishnavi, please check your internet connection. Yeah, so this is identity operator. Then we have Boolean not, then Boolean and we have last the lowest one, which is Boolean or. Okay, so do visit this sequence again, because it will help you when you are going to appear for the interview for Python developers. Okay, so this will help you a lot. Okay, so this is all about operators. So let's move towards the conditional statement, which was my favorite actually. This is what I want to show you from from last 2-3 examples I came across this. So this is conditional statements. Okay, so for conditional statements are really pretty easy. So we have if condition, else condition, and else if condition. So how it executes? Very simple. So there will be one condition. Okay, there will be one condition. If condition executes to true, then some code which we have written will get executed. If it executes to false, it will check what if there is present in else code, what is there in else code. Okay, and then it will execute the else part of your code. Okay, so let's go and take the example of this thing. Okay, so we have couple of so this is how the syntax of this thing. So we'll be using if, then we will have expression. So in this case I'm going to use in and not in. Okay, or is and not is not. Okay, so if then we'll be having expression, and then we'll write a statement, and then we have else if. Okay, don't get confused. So in normal programming language, what we used to do is else if and then expression. Okay, so but that's not the case with Python. Python is having its own syntax, and that is that where you have to use elif, not else if. Okay, so just make a note. And here you the general way, those who are already from the programming background, what you will do is if. So this is how you know, right? So this is how you used to write the program or conditional statements in other programming language. Okay, but this is not the case with Python. In Python, what you need to do is you need to put the expression. So we used to put the expression in round brackets, but that is not the case with this. So what I'll do is I'll check if 10 is greater than or equals to 10 is greater than or equals to 5. Okay, so this is my expression, and after that need to give a colon, and then you need to hit enter. It will automatically give a nice space over there, which is called as indentation. Okay, so most of you who are new to the Python programming, okay, so they might be asking what is this indentation. So this is the way how you have to write the code in the Python. Okay, so this indentation will help us to tell that whatever code which is on next line will be inside this particular if condition. Okay, and if you want to write something outside the if, so you need to go back again, and here you need to type it. Okay, so here what I'm going to print is, so not like this, smaller than 10, and here I'll write number is greater than 10, like that. Okay, so if you want to use some conditional statement, like user is going to give you a number and you have to tell them whether it is smaller. So this is just a basic example I'm taking. Number is greater than 10. Okay, so I'm going to take this 5 away, a, and I'm going to use this as an input. A is equal to, suppose I'm putting 12. Okay, so if I run this code, let me just show you what will happen. The code will come over here, it will check the condition. Okay, this is the condition over here. So 10 is less than or equals to 12. Okay, so number, so in this case this will become false actually. So let me just do like this, greater than or equal to. Okay, 10 is less than or equal to a. So this, when this condition will return true, so it will go in this case. When this condition will become false, so it will go in, it will execute the else loop. Okay, so here since it is 12, so it will go in the first condition, that is number is greater than 10. If I change this number, if I do it like 5, so of course 5 is less than 10, so this condition will return false. Okay, this is the expression which I talked about, and it will go in the else loop, and this smaller than, okay, number is smaller than, this statement will get printed. Okay, so just make sure. So this is about else. Okay, so but if I wanted to use multiple nested if else, okay, in that case what I'll do is I'll use L if. Okay, so here there will be one more condition. Okay, number is greater than 10 and number is smaller than 10, right? So in between, what I wanted to use is if it is the biggest number. Okay, so if you want to use go and find the biggest number of 3, so in that case such scenario will appear. Or whenever you want to check if it is see, here we got to know that number is greater than 10, but or if it is not, so we are directly putting smaller than 10. Okay, so but if I wanted to check in between whether it is greater than 5 or not, if it is not, then it will go in the next condition. Okay, so number is greater than or equals to 5. Sorry, here will be a. Yeah, so what is there in chat? So go a little slower. Okay, sure, definitely. Fine. Thanks for informing. I didn't know what speed you will match. Fine, so we'll go slower. So here, what I'm doing is, here, this is the first condition which will satisfy if number is, this number which is coming is greater than this 10. Okay, so actually this, how it's read is 10 is smaller than, okay, this is the smaller than symbol, smaller than or equals to the given number. Okay, so if it is smaller, okay, then this condition will execute. Then I want to check, actually, let me just do it in a reverse way, because whenever I'm saying the number is greater than 10. Okay, so it will become more readable. Okay, it will be easy for us to read. And here we go. Here will be 5, and here I'm going to print the statement whatever I want. Okay, so now just try to understand, the number is greater than 10. If it is greater than 10, we are going to print the just normal statement, number is greater than 10. But if it is not, it means it is less than 10. So I want to check one more condition, is it less than 5 as well? Okay, is it less than 5? Then we are going to if it is going to be less than 5, it will come on this. But when it is in between 5, it is more than 5 and less than 10, then this particular code will execute. Okay, so if it is less than 5, then number is less than 5. Okay, but if it is more greater than 5, okay, then this condition will also become false. Okay, so, and since it is not so let me just take an example of 7. See, 7 is smaller than 5. Okay, so this condition will return false, because 7 is greater than or equals to 10. No, it's false. 7 is greater than or equals to 5. Yes, it's true. Yeah, it's true. 7 is greater than or equals to 5. Yeah, it's true. Sorry. Number is greater than 5. Greater. Thank God I checked, because it might have a mistake from my side. Yeah, number is smaller than 5. So it will come over here. If it is smaller than 5, then it will come over here. Okay. So here I go. I'm running the code. Yeah, number is greater than 5, because it is checking 7 is greater or equals to 5. So it is, of course, 7 is greater. So it will come over here. But if I take a number like 4, okay, and if I run the code, then it will of course come in the last block, number is smaller. Okay, see, number is smaller than 5. Clear? Conditional statement. Yes, Shrindi, now. So is this speed good? Okay, so first the other question, is it clear? And then the speed is good. Perfect. Okay. Okay, fine. So I didn't know. See, what I do is so when you will become familiar with me, you will be able to catch the speed. Okay, so it's really new. You guys are really new. That's why you are not able to catch that speed. Fine, not an issue. So I'll go. I know how to change according to the audience. So I'll go a bit slow. Not an issue. Okay. So we are done with conditional statement. Okay. So it is plain simple. Just try to understand that there will not be curly braces. There will not be round brackets, and there will not be else if. Okay. These are a couple of things which you need to take into the consideration before moving towards Python development. Okay. So this is very important. Now this has allowed you to do a lot of logical thinking. Okay, so if you are able to add condition, like suppose I'm giving you the example of login screen. Okay, so wherever you are going to add the user. Okay, so if name is equal to Akshay and password is equal to tech amplifiers. Okay, so only if these two conditions are going to match, you are going to allow login. Else you are going to show a message that you are not valid user, or your credentials are not right. Okay, so in such cases you need to use this if and else condition. Okay, so this will be really useful in those scenarios. Okay, clear? So now I hope this is clear. Now let's move towards the next and very important point, that is for loop. Okay, so how many of you have a good command over this for loop? Just let me know in advance over here. Yes. Yeah, Ranjana, we have Anurag. Yeah, Anurag, of course. Ruchi, okay. Okay, so I'm not asking about only Python. I'm asking about in general. You are having in general command over the loops, do while and while. So there is no do while as such in Python actually. So we have for and while, only two loops. Okay. Okay. So with this, so I'll go and show you the example of for loop. See, yeah. So for loop is pretty very simple. So, but in that there is a syntax. So syntax always, whenever you are going to shift from one programming language to another. So those who are new, it is really easy for you because you are going to grab only things which I'm teaching. But those who already knew something, they will get confused. अरे उसमें ऐसा था, इसमें ऐसे है. So your mind will sometimes misbehave with you because it happens with me because there are so many times where when I gave comma over here. Okay, so it happened with me almost 2-3 times in my last session with in while doing the programming on Raspberry Pi. Okay, so it happens. Okay? We are human beings. We example, yeah. So in Java and I was working with Angular actually. So in Angular we used to use semicolon, and that semicolon I unfortunately I used to give in Python as well. So that is not at all right. So it will happen for quite some time, but later on you will have a good command over this programming language as well. Only thing required is practice. Okay, so if you are going to practice, your brain will automatically start giving something correct things for that programming language. Okay, so now here I go. Let me just show you. Suppose if you have a list, again I'm taking a list. Okay, and if you have a couple of values into it. Okay, so like suppose I'm just taking the last names which we have into the list. Last 2-3 names we have: Srinidhi, Himanshu, Sam, and Vinita. Srinidhi, and it's double quote Himanshu. Then we have Sam. Then we have Vinita, right? Okay, so this is just a list. I'm just creating a list. Now what I want is I want to print each and every name in a sequence, right? So what I have one way is, what I can do is I can get the index directly. Okay, so print a of 0. You know the first element of a is 0, right? So that in this way, a of 0. So I'm running the code. So I'll get the name of Srinidhi. If I want the Sam's name, then I'll go and put it there too. This is one. Himanshu was spelling wrong now. Sorry, Himanshu. Yeah, here we go. I'm running the code and I'm getting Sam. Okay, because it is on the second index. But I want to print everybody's name. So what I need to do is I need to copy it 5 times, 4 times. Okay, so that is not recommended. In such cases, what you can do is for I in range of, okay, you need to find the length of this particular A actually. So right now I'm taking I in range of 4. Okay, so just for the example, I know the length, so that's why I in range of 4. Okay, so this is how it will work. So you need to put it in a bracket. So I don't think so. Okay, let me put it into bracket. So if you have something like you need to start from somewhere or you need to end from somewhere, so that time you need to put it. Okay, so I in range of 4. In that case, what I need to do is I'm going to access, or I'm going to print the value of A. Okay, A. But previously what I used to do is after brackets I used to put the index, appropriate index. But in this case I'm going to put this I. Okay, so instead of writing that print statement 4 times, what I can do is I can put this thing into a for loop so that I can access each and every element at a time, and I don't need to write much lengthier code, right? So here I go, I'm running the code, and see I got Srinidhi, Himanshu, Sam, and Benita on the right on the screen on the display. But today I'm facing some internet issue. That's why I'm not able to reply on time. Muhimma's iPhone dealing voice. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Thanks for informing. I appreciate it actually. So I like such people who are upfront telling that this is something happening. I'm not able to work. That's okay. So if you're accepting it, that's okay. That's cool. Okay. So this is what the thing is. So I would recommend Mahima just go and watch the recordings later on so that it will help you. So whole agenda is to make you skilled. So if you're able to understand by watching the recording, that's also okay. You don't need to work with that flexible or inconsistent internet. Fine. So this is how for loop works. Now what I want to is one more thing which I wanted to show you. If you want to print a number, okay, so this is one simple example. Okay, so instead of this I wanted to print the number, okay, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, okay, like that. I just wanted to print a number. So in that case what you can do is what you need to do is you need to provide the list in a you need to do the print statement for a very long time, right? So in order to avoid that, okay, so in order to avoid that, what you can do is instead of doing this such bigger thing, what you can do is simply you can put for I in range of this particular thing. So let me just show you by doing the example. So here put I in range of 10. Okay, so actually there is a thing which I wanted to explain, and I'm going to simply directly print I, because you know how this working is. So it is taking the first, so now the range is till 10. Okay, so when I'm putting only one value, so it is by default starting as, it is taking as 0 comma 10. Okay, by default. Okay, so it's 0 comma 10, so it will come from start from 0 and it will reach till the 10th value, that is 9. Okay, so according to index, 10th value is the 9 value. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, so if I run this code and I'm getting starting from 0, I'm getting till 9. Okay, but if I wanted to print first 10 number, so in that case what I can do is I can give the first number start and end will be at 11. Okay, so it is again the similar way of what we learned, slicing of string. Anybody remembers slicing of string? What was the three parameters in that square bracket? Start, end, and is anybody with me? Step. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, perfect. Now this will also work like that. Let me just show you by running this first. I'm starting from 1, I'm ending at 11. It means the 10th number will be there in such case. I'm running the code, I'm getting the print number. But if I provide step over here, okay, step of 2, okay, so what it'll do is it will skip one number and see. So actually it gave me odd numbers because I started from 1. Okay, 2 is skipped, 3 is printed, 4 is skipped, 5 is printed. Okay, so in any of the case, if you want to print odd or even number, you can make use of this step, third parameter of this range. Okay, so that is what I wanted to tell you. That's why yesterday itself I told you that this is the way we can pass parameters while slicing the string and providing the range to the for function. Okay, so how many of you feel that this is something really new that you learned, the step in for? Yes, how many of you learn it for the first time, very first time? Yeah, even Abhinav, Himanshu as well, streams as well. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you so much for, yeah, that's okay. So I know I have been through your phase. It was time when I didn't have internet and I was not able to learn. I used to go to my friend's home because he was having internet connectivity at his home, and I used to learn like that. So I know I have gone through the same phase. Okay, so I can understand always. Okay, fine. Okay, coming back to the point. So this is very important, which you will be using. Or see, now imagine. So this is something you are telling to the interviewer, like you can do. He asks you to print odd numbers, right? So a lot of people will do with the percentage, divide that number, whatever user is going to give the range, and you're going to print, and you're going to add one extra logic over here, right? So if you want to print only odd, you'll add a condition if, sorry, not like this. See, I made a mistake again. Okay, so if I divided by, okay, 2, not divided by, yeah, modulo 2, yeah, I modulo 2 is equal to 0. Okay, if this condition satisfied, then only you are going to print that number. Okay, so this is another way to print even number. Okay, so I'm just giving you the example. So print I. Okay, I'm removing this thing. So this is the way, this is actually the code to print all even numbers. Okay, so this is what other people will do. Okay, so other people who don't know this step, they will do like this. And if I run this code, yeah, I'm getting only even numbers, because what I did over here is I'm getting all the first 10 numbers and I'm doing a modules operation over here. See, unnecessarily this operator and this comparison operator is taking some time. It is consuming time, and this print again, it's consuming time. Instead of doing this stuff, what you can do is, if you go in any of the interview, and if you write something like this, print I directly over here, okay, and if you just pass a step over here, it will solve your problem in a very the output of the program will be good, and they will appreciate your work. But in case this will print odd, right? So you need to start with 0 and you need to go till 11, right? So if you want to start with 0, yeah, same output, but I got a 0 actually over here. Fine, that's okay. So same output we are getting, but with less complexity. It will take less time to execute. Okay, so this is what the beauty of learning this range or the for loop in in a right way. Okay, so this is what you need to know. Take the point, take the note of this point. This will be helpful for you in your future. Fine, perfect. Okay, so I'm considering it as yes. And here we go. This is what we did, the example of statement and all. And then we print a table of 10. I don't think so I'm going to print table of 10. So you can just go and multiply that number like this. Quickly, I'm going to show you. Yeah, so if I'm getting a number, I'm going to print the number with into 10. Okay, so I'm going to get the table of 10. Here I go, run the code. Yeah, 10. Okay, 0 bhi aa gaya. Okay, once you start करेंगे, and you can do it with any case. Okay, so if you want a table of so it is table of 10, right? So if you want to have table of 11, just go and multiply that value with this, and 11's table will be printed. Okay, so in a similar way, it's very simple basic example. The second example is I don't think so I'll be able to take the third one, so I'll take second example. Print vowels from the sentence. Again, this is one of the favorite question of the interviews. How many of you knew this question interviewers ask in the interview? Yes, print the vowels. Okay, print the vowels from the given string. Okay, so this is what a lot of people ask actually. So for this I'm going to use the both things, the two things which we learned, for loop and the if condition. Okay, so for loop and if conditions are going to help you to count the vowels. Okay, so I'm just going to take a string, a normal string, and which will help us to get the we'll first iterate the string with letters, and then we are going to check if the letter coming in is in the A E I O U. Okay, so that is the vowel thing. Okay, so we use logical and. So why is I don't know what because it's printing. We use logical and AEIOU. Okay, fine. So let me just give you an example. I'm just removing this code because it is not at all needed right now. Okay, so suppose I have string like s is equal to, okay, we are learning Python. Okay, so this is what my string is. Okay, now so it is showing the error because you need to put it in single quote. Yeah. There. See, now what I want is from this particular sentence which I have, the full sentence, I wanted to grab the vowels. Okay, so I wanted to grab the vowels, or actually I wanted to count the number of vowels which are there. Okay, for this small string it is easy, you can go and count, but if I go on any block and from that they ask you to count, then it will be difficult. For that you need to write a loop. Okay, for I in now here we will not put range. Range will be only for numbers. Try to understand this point. Okay, so range will be only for numbers. Okay, so range will not be there. So in this case you are going to use directly string. Okay, for I in s, and here we go. So actually let's rename the variable because it will not be I, it will be letters. Okay, so we are going to take letters of that string one by one. Okay, yesterday itself I told you string is also an iterable object. If you want to access this first letter, what you want to do is in slicing I told you, right? So s dot 1 will give you first, sorry, s dot 0 will give you w, s dot 1 will give you this, and if you want to access last element you need to give s bracket minus 1. Okay, so that is reversal. Okay, so similar way we can iterate through this string as well. That's why I'm trying to access letters in string. Okay, so I can use single letter, it is not multiple letters, so one letter at a time. Okay, so if here I'm going to add if, so here in first iteration of this loop I'm going to get only w. Okay, so here I'm going to check if letter is or letter in, so here I'm going to give a next string which is AEIOU. So what I'm doing again here, I'm using this operator. What is the name of this operator? Yes, what is the name of this operator? In operator is comes under which category? I have shown you the category of operator. That's why I took this membership operator. Absolutely right, Prajwal, Anurag, and Harini and Abhinav. Perfect. So what it is trying to take, trying to do is, letter suppose it is W. If W is a member of AEIOU, if yes, it is going to give us a true value. If it is true, then we are going to increase the count. Okay, so I need to take one more variable over here. Count is equal to 0. Initially there will not be any variables, and here I'm going to increase the count, and here I'm going to use this shorthand. Okay, So this is how our letter will increase, and at the end, at the out, I'm coming out here and I'm printing the value of count. Okay, so I'm just giving a extra space. Here we go. Now let's check. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vowels, right? So let's just check whether our code is giving the right value. Yeah, so we got the 7 vowels. So just try to understand. I'm going to go through again the code because this is very important. You need to know how this is happening. Okay, so what we are doing is, first we are iterating through this string. Okay, so we are trying to take one letter at a time. Okay, so we took first letter in first iteration. For letter in S, first letter we got W. We check if W is the part of this A, E, I, O, U. Okay, so again it is an iterable operator. You can use list as well, but in list you need to give by A, comma, E, comma, I, comma, O, comma, U. So that is not recommended actually. Go with the string directly. Okay, now so if it is present, like suppose this in second iteration we are getting E. Okay, so E in this particular string, so E is present, right? So it will be this particular whole expression will return true in will return true, and we will be increasing the count. Okay, in similar way, if it is not vowel, then what it will be? Yes, if it is not vowel, then what it will be? Yes, it will be consonant, right? Consonant. Yeah, so I'll be creating variable actually, so I haven't created. Yeah, so that also you can take over here. Consonant is equal to 0, and we have, you can print that as well. Yeah, the rest of the things will be consonant, so you can print that as well. Okay, so this is very easy. So what I'm doing is, if it is not in AIO, it means it is not vowel, it means it is a consonant. That's it. So as simple as that. So English is very easy. If it is not vowel, it is consonant. Simple, right? So you can check the length of this string by doing length of string. Okay, so you can do it directly over here. Print length of S, so it must come similar, right? It must come the same number. Okay, I'm running. Yeah, 7 plus 15 is 22, right? So total length of string is 22. 7 are vowel, sorry, 7 are vowel, and 15 are consonant. Actually, we missed one thing. It is considering spaces as well, white spaces. Okay, so you need to add one more condition, which is your task again. L if white space, you need to give string in with space, and that you need to count it later. Okay, how many white spaces are there in the string? Okay, that is again a bit challenging thing. You need to add one more elif. Okay, so just do it at home. Okay, so this is enough. Have you understood this if else with for, and how you can count the vowel from the string? Yes, how many of you able to catch it? Can we create separate string within the code for the vowels and use it? Sorry, I have a question. Use it if condition. Yeah, you can do it. Like, see, if I don't want to like this, okay, I'm just cutting over here v variable over here. I can create v equals to this, and here we go. We can do it like this. Yeah, so not an issue. So you don't need to so output is going to come similar, because what it is doing is letter will be letter which is coming from this string, and v will be this AEIOU. Okay, so it will work that way. Okay, it will work that way. Who asked this question? Abhinav. Yeah, it will work that way. Is it clear? Have I answered your question, or you wanted to ask something else? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thanks for responding. Yeah, perfect. So I'll not take that enrollment student class because it's quite lengthy. So while loop, let's go. And yeah, actually the while loop is going to give you the magical powers, because while is really crazy and it is going to help you a lot. Okay. So again, we are having the similar kind of example with while and for loop, but just that there is a syntactical difference. Okay. So that's what you need to know. Okay. So for loop clear to everybody? Any doubts in for loops? In for loop? Any doubts? No, perfect. So let's move towards the while loop, and then I'll also tell you what is the difference between while and for, when to use while and when to use for. So a lot of people get confused between this. Okay, so I have seen, means I have taught I taught almost 1,000+ students till now, and I have seen that a lot of people get confused between for and while. So you don't. So that's why I'm telling you upfront. Just focus carefully. Okay, so I'm just taking that while loop.py. There is nothing. Actually, I just created the files because I don't want to waste time in creating files. Okay. So I just created. Okay. So while loop is pretty very simple. You don't need to worry about it. So there is no such a range and kind of thing over there in while. So while loop is very straightforward. Okay. So very straightforward. What you need to do is you just need to use while and then condition. Okay. And then again, you don't need to worry about uh, there is no I actually, so there you can't do something like incrementing or so. So in this case, we'll go with the first example of this print 1 to 10 on console. Okay, so just some basic example. Okay, or let's go with the table actually. This is very basic actually. Okay, let's go with table. So what I can do is while I, or you can take it as any number is less than 10. So this is the condition. Okay, until unless this condition is not going to satisfy, so there will be a value of number initially. Number is equal to 1. Okay, so this is number is equal to 1 while number is not greater than 10. Means if number is 11, then only this while loop will break. Okay, if number is 9, then it will re-execute again. Okay, so that's all about conditions. So you can't, so that's why those two loops are different. Here you don't have the access of the index. Okay, so I'll tell you the difference when to use this and when to use while and when to use for. Okay, so here we know this loop will execute until the number is 10, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to print whatever number we are going to get. Okay, so this is a number, and then after this I'm going to increment that number plus equals to 1. So I just love this operator. Okay, the shorthand of plus and one number plus 1. So that's why I actually taught you in operators, because I don't want to use number is equal to number plus 1. Okay, just go and get yourself comfortable with this particular thing. Okay, so this is very simple, and here I want to what we are supposed to do, table of given number. Okay, so if I give, okay, let me just make it more good actually. So more robust the number. Actually right now I'm going to just give a random thing over here. I'm just going to make a table of 2. Okay, I'm running the code, and here we go. Okay, we have so what happened? Yeah, sorry, what happened? Should be number is less, yeah, less than. So condition is wrong actually. So number is greater than 1, so it will not go there directly. Yeah, it has directly came out from the loop. Yeah, here we go, we got our thing, but again it has not printed 20 because we need to give a equals to. Okay, so number is less than, number is less, so you see 1 is less, so this operator is less. Okay, so 1 is less than equals to 10. Yes, it is going inside this, it is multiplying by 2 and it is printing over there. Okay, so then we are incrementing the number. And now what happened in last code, it was 18 printed because 9 was less than 10, it executed, but 10 was not less than 10, so that's why it came out and it has executed the loop. So that's why I added less than equals to. So this time it will take it will print the last number, which is actually the table. Okay, so now I'm going to get 2 to 20. Okay, in similar way, if you want to take this, if you want to do this with user input, yeah, if you want to do with user input like user number. Okay, so I'm just making a new variable. Okay, if you want allow number, if you want to ask user a number for a number, then you can do like that as well. Okay, so user will tell you which table you want to print. Okay, so here I'm going to use input, and do you know the rule? If I use direct input, what will happen? Yes, what will happen if I directly use a number? It will give it will give me a string, so I need to cast it into a integer so that I'll get a right integer and it will print to that particular integer. Here I go, I'm running the code, enter number. Now it is asking for me. Okay, so it is not hard coded, so now it's not, yeah, casting Himanshu, good. Now it is not going to give you the hard coded thing. Now I want a table of suppose 7. Okay, I put 7, here I go, and I got table of 7 days. Okay, so that's how you can make it more robust. Okay, so this is going to help you while building the projects. Okay, so this is why while loop is really powerful actually. So most of the times when you know that input can be anything, or you don't know upfront how many times your loop will execute. Okay, so here you know the end value, right? So here you know where is for, yeah, so here you know the end of s is this particular n, right? but in this case you don't know what is the end, right? So suppose if I give here 20, okay, so it will change when you know, or sometimes you can do like this directly. So if you don't know the end, you can put directly true, okay, so it will execute the code for infinite number of times, okay. And then in the both cases actually, if let me just give you an example since we are coming to this point. Mostly while loop in Python or in whatever I have dealt with almost 10-20 projects in IoT, and we have 90% of times we have used while with true without any condition. While true, we are fetching the data from sensor, right? So we don't know till when we want to fetch, so we'll always give true. But if you want to break the loop at certain condition, like if so here we can put the condition if the number equals to 10, okay, in that case I want to break the loop. So okay, so this break statement will help you to execute the loop. What happened over here? Triple equals to works in JavaScript and TypeScript, not in Python. Make your point. See, actually I'm working with a lot of programming languages because I'm working on different projects. So IoT में front end भी बनाना पड़ता है, ठीक है? So that's the thing. Fine. So I'm doing this thing right now. What you will understand, it will print the numbers till then, and once it's gone, or let me just remove the break for now, and let me just show you what happens. So if I put true directly over there, okay, so it will go infinite times, okay. Sorry, इसको क्या हुआ? Indentation. See, indentation is very very important. So if you, okay, if a number पे नहीं चाहिए यार मेरे को, यहाँ पे चाहिए. Let me just add a print statement, just a normal print statement over here, because it will, yeah, running the code, enter the number. I'm going to enter suppose 9, and here we go. So code is going to execute in fact, see, it is going to execute for infinite number of times, and I don't want it. I'm just stopping it. Control C. अरे stop नहीं हो रहा है, ठीक है, यहाँ पे terminate command है. Those who are new to this, stop while loop, it will stop the while loop, okay. So but I want, if number is greater than 10, I just want to break it directly over here. This break statement will help you to break the running loop, okay. Enter the number. I'm putting 8, here we go, and it is after 80, this condition will satisfy number is equal to 10, yes, then it will come to this line, and it will, okay, see, I'm again giving the semicolon, okay. Semicolon is not there, okay, try to understand, okay. So it will show you the this statement, okay. So this is how you can use this particular two loops, okay. So again, I'm not going to show, okay, let me just show you create number of file team, what it is. So it is very a cool example actually. So suppose I'm just removing the code again. Suppose if you want, so suppose if you're suggesting, or if you're let's take an example of cricket. If you're planning your team, and if you want, if somebody is suggesting the names, and you just wanted to add into the data, okay, or you are making a chatbot, you are giving the input like add him, okay, the name you are talking about. So that chatbot will automatically add the numbers, and it will at the end it will show you a full 11 people cricket team, okay. So in that case, what you need to do is you need to take a person variable over here, and I'm going to take input from user. So every time user will give input, enter a name, okay. So that name I'm going to add into my team, okay. So this is name, and here what I'm doing is while, okay, while this loop will continue, while I'm getting the input, okay. So while I'm not getting done, while person is not done, okay. So until unless I'm not getting, see, I'm using identity operator over here, is not done, or I can use it not equal to done, both it will work, okay. Not equals to done, it will also work. Until unless person is not equal to done, keep adding, okay, keep adding. How to add into the list? So I don't have a list, let me create an empty list, or let me create a team variable over here with empty list. And how can anybody tell me how to add into list? Dot append, okay. So append operator will help you append the person into list, person, and at the end I'm going to print the person. No, I'm going to print the team actually, not person. Person को print नहीं कर सकते, एक ही आएगा, ठीक है. I'm running the code. So have you understood any doubts into this? Append, yeah, a lot of people know. Payal knows. Anurag knows. Anurag is really good into. Anurag, I would be expecting that do help other people who are putting their questions into group. It will also help you to increase your knowledge. You may get something which is which will help you later on. Okay, so it is good thing to help others. Okay, yeah, that is what I'm doing, and I'm expecting the same thing from you as well. Okay, so here I go. I'm running the code. I ran actually. So I'm putting the name as, of course, first name will be mine. Akshay. Okay, sorry. I haven't entered the. I made a mistake or person is not able to done. Okay, so loop will go till the time it will not done. Okay, wait. Okay, hold on. Something went wrong. Something went wrong. So let me just. Okay, can anyone tell me? Print team will be in the same indentation with while. Yeah, that is what. Oh, I need to go out and then print. No, I wanted to print. See, I wanted to take input from user from continuously, and then I wanted to ask when you are done or when user is going to print done, it should stop. Okay, so that is what I'm looking for. Okay, so in that case, I made a mistake. I made a mistake that I need to take input box in a while loop. Okay, input box in a while loop, because can you tell me why? Because I know that there will be only 11 people in my team, right? So here is what, no, indentation problem is not there. It is going infinite time. So if it is indentation problem, it might have shown me. Okay, so it is not indentation problem. So what I did is try to understand the code. Okay, so I'm getting input which is person. Okay, so person is not equals to none. Yes, it is true. That's what is going inside. And then again, I'm not asking input again. See, person value is Akshay only, right? And it is checking not done. Okay, good. It is kind of a true statement. It is always written me true, because I did a mistake over here. I'm not supposed to put it over here. I'm supposed to put this input box over here. And here I need to put the length of this team, because I know length of my team will be not more than 11, right? So length of my team is greater than or less than or equals to 11, then only you should go inside. Okay, so now initially it will be 0. Okay, 0 is less than or equal to 11. Yes, it will go inside. Enter a name, so name will come and it will append and we will print the name. Okay, it will again go and it will wait for me. Okay, it will wait for me to input, and it will go until unless it is not done, it should break, right? So after print और append के पहले मेरे को यहाँ पे डालना है if person. Okay, actually it will end after 11th number, not an issue. Or let me just take, if I wanted to done. Okay, so अगर मैं bore हो गया, if person is equal to or person is भी कर सकते, is done, then we will break the loop. Okay, so loop will break over here. Okay, so here we go. I'm running the code. So have you understood this break logic of break? Okay, you can use anywhere wherever you want in code. So I'm running the code. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Person is done. So this is not working in this case. Let me just use comparison operator directly. Yeah. Running the code again. While loop is not allowed to run in parallel. Okay. So stop and rerun. Yeah. Enter a name. So name will be Akshay. Here we go. Now see, it has printed my array. And now I'm going to put the next name. Let me check who is there in chat. We have Anurag, Payal, Ruchi, and copy Anurag. One more person, please. We have Anurag. Then we have, this is second name. We have Payal. This is third name. And we have Ruchi. Okay. Ruchi. Okay. So this is the team which I want to go with, right? Now this loop will continue. This will ask me the number until unless I don't reach to the 11 people. So right now I don't want it. I'm just typing done over here. It will go in that loop and see it has came out. Okay, so finish with exit code. Yesterday itself I told you, right? So exit code, finish with exit code, it means it has came out because I this particular logic executed and it has break the loop. Clear? Yes, everyone? Perfect, right? So this is the thing which you need to know about this. But now what I want you to understand the logic between or the difference between this particular both loops, for and while. Okay, so use for loop to iterate over an array. If you want to iterate one by one, okay, so then in that case while will not help you. Okay, so in that case you need to use loop only, because in string, if you want to use one every letter of that string, then you have to use for loop, because it is going to provide you that provision. Okay, and when you know the number of iterations, when you know where to go, okay, when you know how long you want to go, like in this particular example which you took, when you know the total number will be 11, right? So it will be 11, cricket team will be of 11 players. Okay, so in such case you have to use for actually. So I used a wrong scenario while demonstrating. If we will de-indent the print statement from the while loop, then we can print the list after completion. Yes, absolutely, Abhinav, you're absolutely right. So it will not print each and every time, so it will print at the end directly. Okay, but it will see, yeah, even if you break in between, the next, it is considered as loop has the loop is executed totally, and the next statement, it is considered as next statement of the loop. Okay, if you de-indent, it will be considered as a next statement from your code. Okay, perfect. So have you understood this scenario of for loop? When to use for loop? For loop you can use only when you have to iterate over an array, and when you know the number of iteration, it means you need to go to the 10th place, or you need to print first 100 prime numbers. Okay, so in such case, don't use while, use for. Okay, but if you want to read a file, okay, so if you want to read a file, do you know how many lines are there in your file? Can you count lines? You can, if it is word file, you can count number of words, right? Or doc file, but you can't count lines. If it is small file, that's okay, you can count 1 2 3. Okay, but it is a big file, so you can't count number of lines, right? So in such case, when you don't know the end value, or you can't count end value, so in such cases you have to use while loop. Understood? Yes, are you getting the difference between this? The when you know the end number and when you don't know the end number. Okay, so that's a good example which I wanted to show you over here. And next one, use while loop when you asking for input. Okay, user input. That's what I demonstrated actually. That's what I demonstrated. When you want to every time when you want to ask for the user input. Okay, so like suppose I have an example actually to build a security bot on your door, which you can put on door. So what that security bot will do, every time somebody will come near to it, it will ask what is your name. Okay, so then it will check your name with the data that it is having in the list, which is predefined. Okay, so it will check if your name matches into it. It will say, okay, so you are the person of, you are the member of this family, please come in, and it will open the door for you. But if you are not, then it will not allow you, it will not open the door. But it will again ask what is your name. Okay, so it will show the message you are not allowed, but it will again ask what is your name for the next person. Okay, then it will type a name, or it will say a name, right? So it is mostly by voice to text, like speech to text actually. So but that kind of bot we built in one of the last workshop, not workshop, it was a training program. Okay, so when you want to ask user for input, in that case you are going to use while. Okay, and use while when the increment is non-standard. What do I mean by non-standard? See, now increment in python, sorry, in for loop, you know, it will increment 1 2 3 4 5 6 like that. Okay, and or if you give the step, it will increment with two twos difference, right? 2, then 4, then 6, then 8. But when increment is non-standard, it means first is 5, the next is 15, next is 18th line, or in such a way. So in such case, when increment is non-standard, it is not standard, or it is not having one kind of sequence. In such cases, you need to use while loop. Is it clear? Yes. So just this is very important actually. Most of it happened. It is from experience, I'm telling you. So you need to know the exact difference. Actually, this will suffice when you have the end number with you. That 11 player, you don't close your eyes and go with for loop. But in that 11 player, if you are asking for input, but don't go with that. So if you are asking with input, you need to go with while loop. Actually, I did correct, because I was asking ये नाम बताओ किसको आपके टीम में लेने, ठीक है? So I was right. Okay, fine. So this is it for the day.